Alright, so this is a quick follow-up review of the Ego mower. I had a chance to use this for a couple months now already. So one thing I just want to point out is when you are getting ready to use this, and you unclip this, try your best not to just yank it out because it will get stuck. So one thing I've just learned from experience is pull it out softly and then lock it. I've had a couple situations where I just yanked it way too hard and I couldn't get it back in. And typically on most lawnmowers, I usually like to mow on the highest setting. But for this mower, it's because the handle's so long, this is the only mower I ever go down one notch. That's just my personal preference. It's worth mentioning that since day one, since when I first got this, I installed the mulching blade, the tri-club blade. I've been using that since day one. It does affect battery power, but just for me personally, I've been able to mitigate it, and I'll kind of go over that in a little bit. With this lawnmower, another complaint I have is this. Whenever I use the self-propel, I'm usually switching my hands, going back and forth, and I'll usually leave it at a speed that I'm comfortable with. And it's very easy to just accidentally knock it up, knock it down, and it just throws me off. Sometimes it's completely down, you know, just from moving the lawnmower back, I may accidentally just lower it completely down, and when I go touch self-propel, it doesn't work. And I'm like, oh crap, I left this all the way down. And then turn it back on. So that's my only little complaint, so I just kind of had to get used to it. But to tell the truth, I actually find myself using the self-propel less and less. With my gas mower, because it was a Husqvarna with a Honda engine, it by itself was about 90 pounds. Because this is so light, I just push this thing around. I don't find myself using self-propel too often. But this thing is awesome. I love how it mulches. This picks up clippings way better than my gas mower. It's just all around a really good mower. This thing is fun. It's just so light. You can easily get underneath my swing set. It's just so easy to use, man. I mean, I really am liking this lawnmower. I remember having to mow under the swing set with my gas mower. It was a bit of a chore pushing it back and forward this way. It's so heavy and clunky. This thing is not only powerful, it's light, it's so smooth. I really am loving this lawnmower. You know what another benefit of using this lawnmower is? I can actually listen to music much more easier because this is so quiet. I don't have to put this on blast just to barely hear my music. I can just leisurely cut my grass, have my volume at a reasonable amount, and I'm able just to cut my grass and listen to music. I mean, this is pretty cool, pretty awesome. Just one of the little other benefits that you just don't think about. Now, I've only really used this on bagging for right now. My intention is, now that it's still spring, I want to try to bag as much as I can. And once we get into summer, the whole idea is I'll go ahead and start mulching. I just finished cutting my backyard, so part of my routine, I take the battery out, my garage, go ahead and throw it in the quick charger. So this is how much battery power was left after I just cut my backyard. So my next step is, so this is my personal lineup that I have. It's all electric. It's all unfortunately corded, but you know, given my budget, this is so far it's worked for me. So I have a Greenworks trimmer slash edger, a hedge trimmer, as well as a electric leaf blower. So this is when we go ahead and do the front yard right now while my Ego battery charges. I would love to actually have the Ego lineup, but you know, after spending $650, and yes, it was $650 for me because I actually bought the Ego lawnmower in winter before it actually went on sale. So maybe in the future I can invest and get myself a whole Ego lineup, but this is what I have for right now. Everybody's situation is a little bit different. Ego, if you're out there, if you want to go ahead and send me a lineup, by all means, I'll be more than happy to accept it. But for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and trim up my front yard. All right, so I just finished string trimming up my front driveway, sidewalk. And in the time it took me to go ahead and trim up the whole front, this is now fully charged. I'm just having fun with this. I mean, here I am going up a slight hill. Try to do this one-handed. Turn it on. Look at this. Self-propel. I'm walking on the side of it, like as if like I'm walking a dog on a leash. I'm not pushing it, it's going up its hill on its own. That's pretty fun to do. All right, so there you have it. I'm pretty much done cutting the grass. So far, it's a great lawnmower. I love that it's plastic. I know there's a lot of other battery powered lawnmowers out there to choose from, and the vast majority of them actually have a metal steel frame. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It is just my personal opinion that I prefer the plastic over the steel. Steel over time can rust. Now plastic can also crack, but it is in my opinion that the benefit of having a plastic deck is that number one, it's lighter, and two, I personally feel that it's going to be more durable. Overall, I just feel that this is just well designed. I love the fact that this thing is super light. I'm pushing it more than I'm using self-propel. And when I do need to self-propel, I've now gotten used to the delay. If you saw in my previous video how I mentioned I used to rely on the torquiness of my gas mower to yank me into place. Because this is light, I just changed the way I mow. I've gotten accustomed to it. Whenever you switch from one tool to another tool, there's always a learning curve, and that's where I'm at right now. But overall, I am really digging this lawnmower. I'm gonna go ahead and dust this off, clean it up, and I just have one more pass to cut and pretty much done with this. And hopefully this was helpful for the folks out there who are interested in this lawnmower. This is my 4-month review, and I've been using this almost now on a weekly basis. I have a 1/4 acre lot, and for what this is a great lawnmower. Hopefully this is somewhat helpful for the folks out there similar to me, because I have power anxiety. I wanted to make sure that I wouldn't run out of electricity, but trust me, you won't. I'm 100% positive that I can cut both the front and the back on one charge. It's just I don't like to push it. Worst case scenario, let's just say that if this thing were to run out of juice, I can quickly, confidently throw this into quick charge, grab a cold beer. By the time I'm done with that, it'll have more than enough power to finish whatever remaining lawn I need to cut. So hopefully that alleviates anybody's worry out there that this battery may not be enough juice. The awesome thing that Ego did included a quick charger, so that alone is worth this lawnmower. All right, so here's a quick thought that I had. You know, the average homeowner probably has a gas tank, something like this, a gas can, something like this, probably like a 1 1/4 gallon gas can. And this is typically what me as a homeowner, what I used to use for many years. Once a season, this was just good enough. And here's a gas mower that I'm currently just fixing up as a hobby, but let's just use this as an example. Pretend you're cutting your grass and you run out of gas. What do you have to do? You have to get in your car, drive to the gas station, fill this up, and come back. And that probably takes about 20 minutes to a half hour versus a battery. Worst case scenario with this battery, if you run out, similar just like if you ran out of gas, you just throw this in here about 20-30 minutes and you have a really good amount of juice already left. For the folks who are hesitant to switching over to battery power, it just really depends on your yard size. If it's a really big yard, I can completely understand your hesitation and not wanting to go to battery. That's understandable. But for an average suburban house, this is more than enough. So hopefully that's somewhat helpful.